Hey guys, this is Neon for CLOWNFISH TV, and guess what? Millennials are offended! Millennials are offended by Monopoly for Millennials. Who would have guessed that this would have offended them? The game came out, I believe, last week. We picked up a copy of it. We did a video unboxing. We thought it was absolutely hilarious, because it's kind of true. And, thought actually some millennials might be in on the joke, and they're not. Unsurprised, a lot of millennials are very upset by this game. This headline coming from the New York Post: Hasbro's new Monopoly for Millennials game is an insulting experience. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go directly to hell. Millennials have long been maligned for their inability to adult, from avoiding marriage to quitting their jobs to travel. Perhaps most central to the millennial MO is the issue of property investments, of which they infamously have none. So the cynical game makers at Hasbro devised Monopoly for Millennials. Forget real estate, you can't afford it anyway. Players don't win money to buy homes or railroads, but instead collect experience points by earning rewards such as a 3-day music festival and going to a vegan bistro, because memories last forever. Perhaps hitting the closest to home was one of the hottest destinations of all: couch surfing. Sorry. It was pretty freaking funny. So that was the New York Post. We've got the AV Club Monopoly for Millennials is here, and as condescending as you would expect. It's as condescending as you would expect. Monopoly for Millennials veers from the original's real estate market format because, as the cover puts it, you can't afford it. The financial ineptitude of the lion's share of America's labor force, players of Monopoly for Millennials collect experiences. According to the game's description, in this version, the player with the most experience, not the most money, wins. Which makes sense because most of the money is probably earmarked for student loan payments. Additionally, the game description insists the game's purpose is to give players a break from the rat race of adulting. So instead of paying rent, they pay visits to each other to rack up more experience points. To further drive home the point, Mr. Monopoly is posed over the cover, taking a selfie with a cup of coffee in hand, a camera, a pair of sunglasses, and a hashtag. He didn't mention the participation award. So that is coming from AV Club. We've got Hello Giggles. Hasbro just released Monopoly for Millennials, and it's kind of offensive. Millennials have long been the butt of jokes and mean-spirited criticism from certain corners of society. Cough, baby boomers. Actually, newsflash, Gen X pokes fun at you too. Whether it's poking fun at our penchant for avocado toast or just accusing us of general laziness, it's always something, and now we apparently can't even play board games in peace because Hasbro has released Monopoly for Millennials, which can more accurately be described as Monopoly that makes fun of millennials. Monopoly for Millennials might be one of the worst things I've ever seen. You ruin Monopoly. Punctuation is important. Elvis DeMars. John, next, Monopoly for Baby Boomers, where you can buy property for below value price. Only people of color go to jail. Ooh. And when you pass go, you get to complain about millennials. Okay, so 2 tweets. Twitter is in an uproar. Here is Bustle. Hasbro made a Monopoly for Millennials game, and nope, you can't actually buy property on it. The game description at Walmart, where it's currently sold out. Yes, we grabbed a copy, thankfully. It says Monopoly for Millennials gives players a break from adulting by forgetting about paying your rent and having you collect experiences. To drive home the whole millennial message, Hasbro is selling the new board game for $19.82. Ha ha ha. Supposedly the year the millennial generation begins, according to the AV Club. But the AV Club says Hasbro is actually off by a year if you go by data from Pew Research. Oh my god, really? Come on, just chill the frick out. Hasbro, can you provide the URL for Hasbro official website featuring Monopoly for Millennials, where you can trash on my age demographic because baby boomers caused an economic catastrophe that rendered us financially impotent for decades? Thanks. Twitter user Sarah T. Ramos says, I'm not sure who Hasbro made Monopoly for Millennials for, as if we don't get shit on enough. A game about millennial life should absolutely include paying rent, a lot of it. The vast majority of us can't afford to spend money on experiences anyway. Disappointed. I think Monopoly for Millennials is pretty offensive and uses stereotypes to make fun of millennials, but I am a millennial, so I'm probably too close to the issue. Many of us are probably a little irked by Hasbro's new version of the game because it plays on some pretty tired stereotypes of our generation. Sometimes stereotypes exist for a reason, sometimes they don't. In reality, the family wealth of millennials is 34% lower than earlier generations and is projected to get worse, according to Bloomberg, while baby boomers experience decades of healthy financial markets that allowed them to pay off mortgages and debts. Millennials lived through a recession weighed down by student loan debt, and low wages, the effects of which are still being felt nearly 10 years later. That means millennials have been forced to forget paying rent or buying real estate because they're barely getting paid a livable wage, and many are drowning in student loan debt, and those super hot experiences they're supposed to collect throughout the game, they can't actually afford those in real life no matter what Instagram says. That's why millennials have learned to appreciate the little things in life, like avocado toast. Okay, so what else? Yahoo's in on it. Millennials tell Hasbro just how insulting Monopoly for millennials really is. Again, we've got more tweets. Same tweets. Here we have a couple different ones. Paul Raftree, Monopoly for millennials is just too funny. Well, for Gen X, it is anyway. Snicker, snicker. Sparks, I'm surprised at how many people are upset at Hasbro making a Monopoly for millennials. Is it because the loser doesn't get a participation trophy? Yeah, I was actually really disappointed. I was really disappointed the game did not include a participation award. Time Magazine gets it up. Monopoly for millennials is here, and people are not that happy about it. Again, they keep going to Twitter. Twitter is the last place you want to go for opinions. Okay, so here we've got another one. Technically Ron, let's play a game Millennial Monopoly. The rules are simple. You start with no money, can't afford anything, the board is on fire for some reason, and everything is your fault. Emily Roller? What? Hasbro's Millennial Monopoly says forget real estate, you can't afford it anyway. Hopefully they'll be donating the proceeds to student debt relief. Okay. Here's the thing. One, we know Twitter takes itself entirely too seriously. Hasbro had to release a statement. Hasbro had to release a statement to try to diffuse the backlash from millennials who probably will not buy this game anyway. Let's face it. I think the reason Hasbro greenlit this game is because they are keenly aware of the fact that millennials don't buy their stuff. As evidenced by the piles and piles and piles of Star Wars action figures I think they thought they would sell to millennials or, young adult collectors. Didn't happen. The toys are rotting. Hasbro lost a ton of money. They had to lay people off. So yeah, they're probably, keenly aware of all of this. So Hasbro released a statement. We created Monopoly for millennials to provide fans with a lighthearted game that allows millennials to take a break from real life and laugh at the relatable experiences and labels that can sometimes be placed on them. With many of us being millennials ourselves, we understand the seemingly endless struggle and silly generalizations that young millennials can face, and we can't even. Whether you are a lifestyle vlogger, emoji lover, or you make your side hustle selling vegan candles, Monopoly for millennials is for you. I mean, it's pretty bad when Hasbro has to release a statement to tell people to calm the flip down. But the game is sold out. The game is sold out all over the place. Now, we did a video on YouTube, and it actually got picked up by Now This. Our video has about 40 or 50,000 views. The Now This version has like 1.5 million views of our video, and just like Monopoly for millennials, we didn't actually get paid money. We got paid in upvotes, but I thought it was pretty cool that they actually used it anyway. So we were actually apparently one of the first people to get a copy of this game, and that's all Squid King. Squid King found it at Walmart, and I believe they're sold out now. This game is going to sell like crazy. This game is going to sell like crazy because there are so many people who can relate to it and can actually take a joke. The thing is that the millennial backlash, the outrage against this game, just further pushes that stereotype that millennials can't take a joke. And, it's going to sell more copies. So congratulations. Twitter outrage mob. You've just made sure that Monopoly for millennials is going to be the best-selling board game of the 2018 holiday season. Good job. Good job. You should get an award for that. So subscribe to Clownfish TV for more pop culture news, views, and rants, gaming videos, art videos, and more. This has been Neon. We'll talk to you later.